Good evening, everyone. Tonight's not necessarily going to be a really fun, exciting stream or anything, but it's going to be a passionate one at least. I've been waiting to cover this kind of subject matter for a while, because if I had to cover each and every single day that Israel or Netanyahu says or does something, I'd go insane. And I don't blame anyone for not really wanting to follow along with it, because it is so mentally exhausting. It's every single day. So, I want to preface the thumbnail, borrowed from here, Palestine culture, waiting now for ICC arrest warrant for war criminal Netanyahu. March 24th, 2023. Last year, they're going to get their wish. But before we cover any of that, I'm going to preface the stream. We're going to start off with the accusations that anybody that supports Palestine are considered anti-Semitic. Well, there's a big problem about that. We're going to go ahead and do the research on what it means to be a Semite. Semitic languages. Now, you're about to find out that the whole thing, that whole slur being called anti-Semitic, false flat on its face. The Semitic languages are a branch of Afro-Asiatic language family. They include Arabic, Amharic, Aramaic, Hebrew, and numerous other ancient and modern languages. They are spoken by more than 330 million people across much of West Asia, North Africa, the Horn of Africa, Malta, and a large immigrant and expatriate expatriate communities in North America, Europe, and Australasia. Terminology was first used in the 1780s. 1780s, people. Literally, the term Semite didn't exist before. By members of the Gottingen School of History, who derived the name from Shem, one of the three sons of Noah in the book of Genesis. So literally, the word did not exist before 1780s. Nobody would have knew what a Semite was, because it was what, a scholarly terminology? It's a college word. It says here for the ride. Ride of your lifetime, quite literally. This is historical precedent. So I want to everybody understand, when somebody calls you an anti-Semite, how? Well, look at this map here, and every one of these regions Arabic. Some of these I can't even hardly read. Arabic. This is the North Horn of Africa here. This is north right here, north of Africa. Hebrew, Levantine Arabic, all around right in here and right in this region right here. Wait a second. Palestinians speak Arabic, right? Palestinians speak Hebrew, right? Oh. Well, if Semitism only pertains to language and not religion, as per literally this Wikipedia post here. Like, it's a simple search on Wikipedia. If you want, we can go and look at other sources to find out what what the true definition of Semitism means. Semitic languages occur in written form from very early historical date in West Asia, with East Semitic, Akkadian, and Eblate text. Some of these words I can't even pronounce. Written in script adapted from Sumerian cuneiform, appearing from 2500 BCE in Mesopotamia and northern Levant, respectively. The only earlier tested language is Sumerian and Elamite, 2800 BCE to 550 BCE, both language isolates, and Egyptian, 3000 BCE, a sister branch within the Afro-Asiatic family related to Semitic languages, but not part of them. So even Egyptian is a, distant cousin? It's a sister branch, but it's not an actual Semitic language. Arabic is a Semitic language. So there's an awful lot of Palestinians out there that could speak Arabic. That would mean that they're Semites. So when you stand up for Palestine, can't say that's anti-Semitic now, can you? Next time your boss wants to fire you because you're critical towards Israel and they're going to use that whole terminology, well, that's being anti-Semitic. No, it's not. You might want to look up the definition of Semitism, because I just did. 30 seconds. Takes less than that to look up the definition of Semitism. Next time Netanyahu wants to accuse you of being anti-Semitic, I'm sorry, what? I'm what now? I'm anti-Semitic? Pretty sure Palestinians are Semites. So the accusation of being considered anti-Semitic falls flat on its face. That whole argument gets thrown out the window because it has nothing to do with religion. Do you see anything on here? Anything pertinent to the Jewish faith? Do they own the rights to the word Semite? No. Amorite appeared in Mesopotamia and northern Levant in 2000 BC. Followed by the mutually intelligible Canaanite languages, including Hebrew, Phoenician, Moabite, Edomite, Ammonite, Ekronite, Amalekite, and Sutian, the still spoken Aramaic, and Ugaritic during the second millennium BC. Canaanite languages. You mean the same Canaanites that were slaughtered by the army of Joshua? Those Canaanites? Yeah, you need to find out. Wait. Yeah, Palestine was formed on Canaanite lands. This is nothing new. The Canaanites were genocided. It's like history repeats itself. And some guy strolls up and says, "This is mine now." Read it in the Bible. It's a really fucked up story. Take the women and children for yourselves. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Manuscripts used to write Semitic languages are abjads, type of alphabetic script that omits some or all of the vowels, which is feasible for these languages because the consonants are primary carriers of meaning in the Semitic languages. These include the Ugaritic, Phoenician, Aramaic, Hebrew, Syriac, Arabic, and ancient Southern Arabian alphabets. So yeah, this whole entire region Aramaic, Canaanite, Arabic. Yeah, all this is Semitic. All of it. Maltese is the only Semitic language written in Latin script and the only Semitic language being an official language of the European Union. Whoa. Yeah, that's right, Maltese. Uh, I've been saying that history repeats itself. Yeah, and exactly, and that's why Israel feels like it's justified because, oh, we've done this before. Yeah, we've committed genocide before. It's okay, because uh, biblical precedents. We could just do whatever the fuck we want. I'm sorry, we live in the modern age now. We're not cool with mass slaughter of people. Ain't that a bitch? I'm so glad that we recognized that the Holocaust was a bad thing back in World War II. I cannot believe how woke we were back then. I, gee, we understood that genocide was a bad thing back in the 40s, the 1930s. What changed? The Semitic language is notable for their non-concatenative morphology. That is, the word roots are not themselves syllables or words, but instead are isolated sets of consonants, usually three, making so-called triliteral root. Words are composed from roots not so much by adding prefixes or suffixes, but rather by filling in the vowels between the root consonants, although prefixes and suffixes are often as well. For example, in Arabic, the root meaning right has a form KTB. From this root, words are formed by filling in the vowels and sometimes adding consonants. Kitabuk, books, kitab. I know I'm not really pronouncing this. Kataba, he wrote. Seems relatively easy to read. You just gotta change, some of the vowels around. Change the vowels around, and it's kind of like English. You got to get if you can find a familiar common denominator between the language that you're familiar with versus the language you're trying to learn, it might be easier for you. The similarity. Oh, here we go. Now this is where Israel feels it has a right to call you anti-Semitic. The similarity of the Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic languages has been accepted by all scholars since medieval times. Yeah, that's how old this is. The languages were familiar to Western European scholars due to historical contact with neighboring Near Eastern countries and through biblical studies, and a comparative analysis of Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic was published in Latin in 1538 by Guillaume Postel. Almost 2 centuries later, Hiob Ludolf describes similarities between these three languages and the Ethiopian Semitic languages. However, neither scholar named this grouping as Semetic. Neither scholar named this grouping as Semitic. So you tell me Hebrew and Arabic are not necessarily Semitic? The term Semitic was created by members of Göttingen School of History, initially by August Ludwig von Schlosser in 1781. To designate the languages closely related to Arabic, Aramaic, and Hebrew. The choice of name was derived from Shem, one of the three sons of Noah, and genealogical accounts of the biblical book of Genesis, or more precisely from the Koine Greek rendering of the name. Johann Gottfried Eichhorn is credited for popularizing this term, particularly via 1795 article. I'm not even going to attempt it. Semitic languages, in which he justified the terminology against criticism that Hebrew and Canaanite were the same language, despite Canaan being Hamitic in the Table of Nations. That's Canaan, though. So if we're talking, here's the comparisons here between Arabic and Hebrew. Yeah, and that makes sense. Here's your Latin prefix here. So, 1700s. Why didn't Israel claim Semitism way before the 1700s? Because the term Semitism literally didn't exist. So you can't necessarily call yourself something that didn't exist until recent history, and now it's all of a sudden convenient to call yourself that. Oh, now we're Semites. Okay, so are Palestinians. Ask them what language they speak. In Mosaic Table of Nations, these names were listed as Semites as purely names of tribes who speak the so-called Oriental language and live in Southwest Asia. As far as we can trace the history of these very languages back in time, they've always been written in syllabograms or with alphabetic script, never with hieroglyphs or pictograms, and legends about the invention of syllabograms and alphabetic script go back to Semites. In contrast, also called Hamitic peoples originally used hieroglyphs until they were here and there, either through contact with the Semites or through their settlement among them, became familiar with the syllabograms or alphabetic script and partly adopted them. Viewed from this aspect too, with respect to the alphabet used, the name Semitic languages are completely appropriate. Previously, these languages have been commonly known as Oriental languages in European literature. 19th century Semitic became the conventional name. However, an alternative name, Syro-Arabian languages, was later introduced by James Calvert Pritchard and used by some writers. And that's in the 1800s, 1840s? Oh, here we go. Ancient Semitic speaking peoples. Semitic languages were spoken and written across much of the Middle East and Asia Minor during the Bronze Age and Iron Age. Areas attested being the East Semitic Akkadian of Mesopotamia, Akkad, Assyria, Isin, Larsa, and Babylonia from the 3rd millennium BC. By the way, yeah, Mesopotamia. That's pretty much like the Middle East. Yeah, like Akkad, Assyria. Yeah, that's shit. We got a map around here just to show you where Mesopotamia is. Actually, I can just click on it and find out. Good night. Extent of Mesopotamia. Yeah. Look at this. So all this Mesopotamian used Semitic languages. Iran. Iran. Yeah, Baghdad. This is. Here's your Iraq. Here's Israel. Well, that's funny. Well, that's Mesopotamia there. Israel's way over here. Hmm. History of Iraq. Yep. So it seems to me like, these people up here kind of settled a little bit more south, and, they just settled around, and, they just speak that particular Semitic languages. Spans the gamut here. That's a lot of languages that fall under Semitism. So it's not just Hebrew, which is predominantly spoken by Israelites and Jews alike. Yeah. It only does because humanity hasn't evolved yet. Yeah, that's why history keeps repeating itself. A Levant, Ethiopia, the Eastern Mediterranean region, Arabian Peninsula, North Africa. According to a 2009 study, Semitic languages originated in the Levant in 3750 BC and reduced to the Horn of Africa in 800 BC from southern Arabian Peninsula into North Africa via Phoenician colonists at approximately the same time. Others assign the arrival of Semitic speakers in the Horn of Africa to a much earlier date. According to another hypothesis, Semitic originated from offshoot of a still earlier language in North Africa, and desertification made its inhabitants migrate to the 4th millennium BC into what is now Ethiopia. Various extremely closely related, mutually intelligible Canaanite languages in a branch of the Northwest Semitic languages include Edomite, Hebrew, Ammonite, Moabite, Phoenician, Punic, Carthaginian, I think. You have to pronounce some of these words. Sumerian, Hebrew, and Ekronite. They were spoken with today Israel and the Palestinian territories. Did Wikipedia just admit that they were spoken of as today Israel and the Palestinian territories, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, the northern Sinai Peninsula, some northern eastern parts of the Arabian Peninsula, southwest fringes of Turkey, and in the case of Phoenician, coastal region of Tunisia, Libya, and Algeria, and some parts of Morocco, Spain, and possibly Malta and other Mediterranean islands. Ugaric and Northern Semitic language closely related, but distinct from the Canadian groups, Spain from the Greek. So what you're telling me is of all those countries, the Palestinian territories, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Sinai, the Sinai Peninsula, Arabian Peninsula, Turkey, and Tunisia, Libya, and Algeria, they all have Semites living there? The Semitic language is still prevalent there? So that would mean that Palestinians are Semites. Just to reiterate, every time Israel attacks Lebanon, that's anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic. I just confirmed it. It would be anti-Semitic to attack Lebanon, right? How about Syria, huh? Palestinian territories stated on here, right in this Wikipedia article. Yeah, go ahead. Ask them. Ask them what language they speak. They speak Arabic. They're Semites. So the argument that standing up for the Palestinian people is anti-Semitic, I'm sorry. How? I've already debunked it. You don't even have the right to call someone anti-Semitic. You don't have the right to that word. There are thousands and millions of other people on this planet that are also Semitic. Would you look at that? Some of them aren't even Jewish. Most of them might be Muslims and Christians. A hybrid Canado aircraft Akkadian language also remained in Canaan, Israel, and Palestinian territories, Jordan, and Lebanon. So that was originally Canaan. It was Israel and Palestinian territories, Jordan and Lebanon combined. During the 14th century BC, incorporating elements of Mesopotamian, East Semitic, Akkadian language of Assyria and Babylonia, the West Semitic Canaanite languages. Aramaic, still living ancient Northwest Semitic language, first attested in the 12th century BC in the northern Levant, gradually replaced the East Semitic and Canaanite language across much of the Near East, particularly after being adopted as the Lingua Franca, the vast I still need to learn how to pronounce that, Neo-Assyrian Empire, Assyrian, is what it is, Assyrian, 911 to 605 BC by the Tiglath-Pileser III. During the 8th century BC, it being retained by the succeeding Nubian, Babylonian, and Achaemenid empires. Common languages, classical Syriac. Example of Arabic calligraphy, just like Al Jazeera. Arabic language originated in the Arabian Peninsula, first version written form in the first 4th century CE in the southern regions of Levant. A lot of references to Arabic. Despite the ascendancy of Arabic in the Middle East, other Semitic languages still exist. Biblical Hebrew, long extinct as a colloquial language in use only in Jewish literary, intellectual, and literatural activity, was revived in spoken form. What's that? Revival of Hebrew language took place in Europe and Palestine toward the end of the 19th century and the 20th century. Huh. That's weird. Dead language until damn near the modern era. Dead language. The 1800s to the 1900s. Like somewhere around there, somewhere around the establishment of the Balfour Declaration and establishment of Israel and the Rothschild family, somewhere around there, somewhere conveniently placed around that time period. The end of the 19th century, modern Hebrew is the main language of Israel, with Biblical Hebrew remaining as a language of liturgy and religious scholarship of Jews worldwide. In Arab-dominated Yemen and Oman, on the southern Arabian Peninsula, a few tribes continue to speak modern South Arabian languages such as Mari, and Security. I'm not too sure how to pronounce these. These languages differ greatly from both the surrounding Arabic dialects and from the languages of Old South Arabian inscriptions. Yeah, so for the longest time, I mean, look right here, right there, Aramaic, Hebrew is like right here, this little blue spot. That is what is recognized as like old Israel. This right here is like Judea, Palestine, like, you know, what went by various different names. Depends on what map you're looking at too. But yeah, that would mean everyone in this region, every single person, not just Israelis, but every single Palestinian in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, yeah, they're also Semitic. So the argument of anti-Semitism falls flat on its face. Case closed, people. It just took the power right out of that slur. You get called anti-Semitic, let it roll off your back. You lose your job, show them this. Show them this. Say it has nothing to do with the Jewish faith. None. Zero. Barely anything to do with the Jewish faith. The only thing you got tied to it is Hebrew. And it's like, well, apparently it was a dead language for the longest time, and now, oh, they suddenly just revive it in the 19th and 20th century? Wonder what that would be. So, while we're on the subject of history, I might have shown this on a stream before, but just want to reiterate the existence of Israel by its current contract. Nullified. And I've got the proof right here. The Balfour Declaration by itself, November 2nd, 1917. Dear Lord Rothschild. Yeah, that's the Rothschild family. Get that off of there. I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the British Crown at the time, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which have been submitted to and approved by the cabinet. Of course, they never did ask a single Palestinian about this, so, you know, this is one of those, we're just going to go ahead and impose this on you, just like the Federal Reserve. Just go ahead and, you know, sign that, and, you know, throw this on the people, and ain't shit they can do. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate this achievement of this object. Well, seems to me like they're pretty fucking successful, huh? It being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I'm going to leave this on screen so you can read that and read that and read that again. According to this contract, it is now nullified. It was not clearly understood. The prejudice and civil and religious rights. There's prejudice, and the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine are being violated right now to this day. And if you want proof of that, I dare say, look at the mosques being blown up. Look at the schools being blown up. Look at the colleges being blown up. Look at the death toll as it keeps on rising. Look at them attack even journalists. This is the deadliest genocide to journalists internationally in American history, in world history. I should be grateful if you bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. I can't even abide by that. By Lord Balfour, right there. That's signature right there. So, this contract is nullified, which means that the British Crown owes nothing to Israel. Nothing. Nothing. This is nothing. The civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine are being violated. It's that simple. Even the Balfour Declaration understands the significance and the rights and liberties of the Palestinian people. Israel can't even abide by that. So, because of this nullification of this contract, yes, the International Criminal Court has every right to incarcerate Benjamin Netanyahu. Statement of the ICC prosecutor Karim A.A. Khan KC. Applications for arrest warrants in a situation in the state of Palestine. Today I'm filing applications for warrants of arrest before pretrial chamber 1 of the International Criminal Court in a situation in the state of Palestine. I've already got the video up. Watch that in a second. Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Diab, Ibrahim El Masri, Deef Ismail. I'm going to end up just chewing on this language. I'm sorry. On the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, I have reasonable grounds to believe that Yahya Sinwar, head of the Islamic resistance movement Hamas in the Gaza Strip, Mohammed Diab Ibrahim El Masri, more commonly known as DF, commander-in-chief of the military wing of Hamas, known as Al-Qassam Brigades, and Ismail Haniyeh, head of Hamas political bureau, they are criminal responsibility for the following war crimes and crimes against humanity committed on the territory of Israel and the state of Palestine and Gaza Strip from at least 7 October 2023. So we're going from 7th October 2023. Cool. Because I might have evidence to state that that might have been a false flag attack. Get to that in a second. Extermination is a crime against humanity contrary to Article 7.1b of the Rome Statute. Murder is a crime against humanity contrary to Article 7.1a as a war crime contrary. Okay, this is all the charges are pressing against Hamas. As a war crime contrary to Article 8.2c(i), taking hostage is a war crime contrary to Article 2c. They why have numerals and then you're going to do 8.2c(3), rape and other acts of sexual violence as crimes against humanity contrary to Article 7.1g, and also warrants against pursuant to Article 8.2e 6 in the context of captivity. Torture is a crime against humanity contrary to Article 7.1f, and also a war crime contrary to Article 8.2c(1) in context of captivity. Other humanity acts as a crime against humanity contrary to Article 7lk in the context of captivity. Cruel treatment is a war crime contrary to Article 8.2c(1) in the context of captivity, and outrages upon personal dignity as a war crime contrary to Article 8.2c(2) in the context of captivity. Yeah, the whole rape and sexual violence thing, that might, that one probably won't stick, because it depends on what kind of evidence they can bring, because some of this stuff is just accusations without evidence, and some of it is true, like taking us hostages. Yes, that's very feasible. Yes, if you got to have the evidence, and the hostages themselves are the evidence. So there you go. Murder is a crime against humanity. Yes, I'm sure that's happened. Now, what are they doing by? They're going from 7th October. Okay, cool. Not that I'm saying Hamas is a good thing at all. It's, it's still a political state. It's basically Palestine's only means of defense. That's it. It's Hamas. That's it. The Palestinian people themselves, they ain't got shit. Hamas is the fighting arm, and of course, throw them in, just like how you would throw Americans in. You definitely, for war crimes, definitely. Throw Hamas in there. As long as the evidence is true. Now, that's one thing. You can't just sit there and formulate it all and say, oh, well, this is what Hamas... And it's like, Wait, no, no, they didn't. Gotta have evidence. No matter who it is, even Israel. Got evidence. Cool. We have evidence? Good. We have the evidence. We have the evidence of Netanyahu sitting there speaking to the press and saying, maybe genocide might be a good thing. I'm paraphrasing, of course. My office submits the war crimes alleged in these applications are committed in the context of international armed conflict between Israel and Palestine and non-international armed conflict between Israel and Hamas running in parallel. We submit that the crimes against humanity charged were part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Israel by Hamas and other armed groups pursuant to organizational policies. Some of these crimes in our assessment continue to this day. My office submits these are reasonable grounds to believe that Sinwar, Diaf, and Hanaya are criminally responsible for killing of hundreds of Israeli civilians in the attacks perpetrated by Hamas, in particular its military wing of Al-Qassam brigades and other armed groups on 7 October 2023, and the taking of at least 245 hostages. Boy, do I got something to show you. As part of our investigations, my office has interviewed victims and survivors, including former hostages and eyewitnesses from 6 major attack locations: Kfar Aza, Holit, the location of the Supernova Music Festival, Bibi, near Ants, and Nahal Oz. The investigation will relies on evidence such as CCTV footage, authenticated audio, phone and video material, statements by Hamas members, including the alleged perpetrators named above, and expert evidence. Individuals planned and instigated the commission of crimes on 7 October 2023 and have, through their own actions, including personal visits to hostages shortly after their kidnapping, acknowledged their responsibility for those crimes, and admit that these crimes could not have been committed without their actions. They are charged both as co-perpetrators and conspirators pursuant to Article 25 and 28 of the Rome Statute. During my own visit to Kibbutz Bibi and Kibbutz Kfar Aza, as well as the site of Supernova Music Video Festival in Reem, I saw devastating scenes of these attacks and the profound impact of the unconscionable crimes charged and applications filed today. Speaking with survivors, I heard how the love within a family, the deepest bonds between a parent and child, were contorted to inflict unfathomable pain through calculated cruelty and extreme callousness. These acts demand accountability. Oh, gee, I hope you charge Israel with the same thing. My office also submits that there are reasonable grounds to believe that hostages taken from Israel have been kept in inhumane conditions, and some have been subject to sexual violence, including rape, while being held in captivity. We have reached the conclusion, based on medical records, contemporaneous video and documentary evidence, and interviews with victims and survivors. My office also continues to investigate reports of sexual violence committed on 7 October. I wish to express my gratitude to the survivors and the families of victims in the 7 October attacks for their courage in coming forward to provide their accounts to my office. We remain focused on further deepening our investigations of all crimes committed as part of this action and will continue to work with all partners to ensure that justice is delivered. I again reiterate my call for the immediate release of all hostages taken from Israel and for a safe return to their families. This is a fundamental requirement of international humanitarian law. See? Easy. Uh-oh. Benjamin Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant. Now, I like this. Starting off with, hey, we're going to get Hamas first. This could be the first thing you're going to see. So anybody from Israel sees this first and says, yeah, yeah. And then we get to the bottom and like, oh. Yeah, they thought they were just going to get some good news, huh? Yeah, here's the bad news, dude. On the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, I have reasonable grounds to believe that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, and Yoav Gallant, the Minister of Defense of Israel, bear criminal responsibility for the following war crimes and crimes against humanity committed on the territory of State of Palestine in the Gaza Strip from at least 8 October 2023. Now, there was some shit that Israel did the day of, on the 7th. Yeah. Starvation of civilians is a method of warfare war crime contrary to Article 8 to be, with it, 25 of the statute, willfully causing great suffering or serious injury to body or health contrary to Article 2, right, A2, A3, or cruel treatment as a war crime contrary to Article 8 to C1, willful killing contrary to Article 8.2A1, or murder as a war crime contrary to 8.2C1, intentionally directing attacks against civilian population as a war crime contrary to Articles 8.2B1 or 8.2E1, extermination and or murder contrary to Articles 7.1b and 7.1a, including the context of death caused by starvation as a crime against humanity. Deaths caused by starvation. Yes. It's called depraved indifference, and it's a felony. They're getting them for them, too. Persecution is a crime against humanity contrary to 7.1h. Other inhumane acts as crimes against humanity contrary to Article 7.1k. My office submits that the war crimes alleged in these applications were committed in the context of international armed conflict between Israel and Palestine and a non-international armed conflict between Israel and Hamas, together with other Palestinian armed groups, running in parallel. We submit that the crimes against humanity charged were committed as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the Palestinian civilian population pursuant to state policy. These crimes, in our assessment, continue to this day. My office submits that the evidence we have collected, including interviews with survivors and eyewitnesses, authenticated video, photo, and audio material, satellite imagery, and statements from the alleged perpetrator group. Statements from the alleged perpetrator group? Wow, damn. They actually got statements from them. Holy shit. Shows that Israel has intentionally and systematically deprived the civilian population in all parts of Gaza of objects indispensable to human survival. Absolutely. They've been doing it since before October 7th. This occurred through the imposition of total siege over Gaza and involved completely closing the 3 border crossing points, Rafah, Karim Salam, and Erez, from 8 October 2023 for extended periods, and then arbitrarily restricting the transfer of essential supplies, including food and medicine, through the border crossings after they were reopened. The siege also included covering off cross-border water pipelines for Israel to Gaza, Gazans' principal source of clean water, for a prolonged period beginning 9th October 2023, and cutting off and hindering electricity supplies from at least 8 October 2023 until today. This took place alongside other attacks on civilians, including those queuing for food, obstruction of aid delivery by humanitarian agencies, and attacks on and killing of aid workers, which forced many agencies to cease or limit their operations in Gaza. Yep. And by the way, this is all in violation of the Geneva Conventions. You cannot shut down water supplies. You can't shut down any sort of food, water, trade, anything. Anything. On the basis of whether there might be terrorist organizations there benefiting from it. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. Because even Ukraine found that out because they were shutting off the water supply to Crimea. After the annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation. Yeah, still shutting off Crimea's water supply is a war crime. Sorry. Can't do that. So that dam got blown up that limited the water supply to Crimea. Yeah, that dam got blown up. And now water is free to flow to Crimea. So, yeah, Ukraine is not as innocent as you would think it would be, right? No. Shutting off a country's water supply because somebody annexed your country, or you got annexed. No, that's not how this works. My office submits that these acts were committed as part of a common plan to use starvation as a method of war and other acts of violence against the Gazan civilian population as a means to 1. Eliminate Hamas, 2. Secure the return of hostages which Hamas has abducted, and 3. Collectively punish the civilian population of Gaza, whom they perceived as a threat to Israel. The effects of the use of starvation as a method of warfare, together with other attacks and collective punishment against the civilian population of Gaza are acute, visible, and widely known, and have been confirmed by multiple witnesses interviewed by my office, including local, international medical doctors. They include malnutrition, dehydration, profound suffering, and an increasing number of deaths among the Palestinian population, including babies, other children, and women. Famine is present in some areas of Gaza and is imminent in other areas. As the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned more than 2 months ago, 1.1 million people in Gaza are facing catastrophic hunger, the highest number of people ever recorded, anywhere, anytime, as a result of an entirely man-made disaster. Today, my office seeks to charge two of these most responsible, Netanyahu and Gallant, both as co-conspirators and superiors pursuant to Articles 25 and 28 of the Rome Statute. Funny thing is, it's like just two of them. Most of the head of cabinet is responsible for this and has, taken part, but it's just important we get these two. I mean, they listed a whole lot, 4 Hamas operatives and 2. It's like, okay, we'll take 4 Hamas if you give us 2. You give us Netanyahu and Gallant on a silver platter? Yeah, we'll gladly incarcerate all of Hamas. This is a trade deal presented by the ICC. It is a deal. I want you to think of that, of this way, okay? It is a deal. It is something to present to Israel, so maybe Netanyahu and Gallant might turn themselves in if it means arresting Hamas. Now, if Hamas gets arrested, and that doesn't nullify the fact that arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant are still active. That they're still going to be active. Netanyahu, you're not going to be able to travel internationally. You're going to be arrested. If this goes through, you're going to be arrested. That's what's going to happen. That's what should happen. You will be arrested for your war crimes. Don't like it? Tough shit. I can't help you. That's what happens when you commit war crimes, when you commit genocide. That's what happens in the modern age. We don't live back in BC where there is no International Criminal Court. We don't live back in those days when there is no UN. You can do whatever the fuck you feel like you want to do. Can't do that anymore. This is not this is not biblical Israel or whatever you want to think it is. Genocide of the Canaanites, yeah, we're not doing that again. It's called being a decent fucking human being, Netanyahu. And Gallant. Throw you in there too. Rest of your fucked up cabinet. Israel, like all states, has a right to take action to defend its population. That right, however, does not absolve Israel or any state of its obligation to comply with international humanitarian law. Notwithstanding any military goals they may have, that means Israel chose to achieve them in Gaza, namely intentionally causing death, starvation, great suffering, and serious injury to bodily or health of the civilian population, are criminal. Yeah, throw America in there too. Fuck it. Throw any country that commits war crimes. Yeah, they should be. But I think that's what Netanyahu's like saying. He's like, well, gee, all these other countries have committed war crimes. Why is it just me? Why isn't everybody else there? Let's just take this one step at a time. We'll get to them. Believe me. Me of all people, absolutely. You're responsible for the shit that happened in Laos, in Vietnam? Fuck yes. Throw your ass in prison and throw away the fucking key. And that's the best thing that can happen to you. Since last year in Ramallah and Cairo and Israel and in Rafah, I have consistently emphasized the international humanitarian law demands that Israel take urgent action to immediately allow access to humanitarian aid in Gaza at scale. Didn't happen. I specifically underlined the starvation as a method of war and the denial of humanitarian relief constitute Rome Statute offenses. I could not have been clearer. Plain motherfucking English. Maybe you should have spoken it in Hebrew or some, another Semitic language that they would understand, right? Because they are Semites after all, right? Right? They address themselves as being Semitic, so should have spoken in a different language, a Semitic language, more specifically. As I also repeatedly underlined in my public statements, those who do not comply with the law should not complain later when my office takes action. That day it's come. That's funny as shit. Repeatedly underlined in my public, those who do not comply with the law should not complain later when my office takes action. So, Netanyahu, you shouldn't complain. You brought this upon yourself. Netanyahu's a little whiny little bitch right now. He's like, oh my god, they're gonna arrest me. He's complaining right now. He's fucking livid. Because he knows what the fuck he's doing. He knows he's committing a genocide. And it's like, this is consequences. I'm sorry, but that's what happens this day and age. It's called consequences. If you don't like it, I don't know. You want us to go back like, millennia before? Just fuck international law, right? Just century. Literally, that's what he thinks this is. This is like fucking. He's getting a fucking wake up call of a fucking millennia, In presenting these applications for arrest warrants, my office is acting pursuant to its mandate under Rome Statute. On February 5th, 2021, pretrial chamber 1 decided that the court can exercise its criminal jurisdiction in the situation in the state of Palestine and the territorial scope of its jurisdiction extends to Gaza and the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. Hey, guess what? I mean, there was a big plan. There's the big plan of moving the embassy, the American embassy, to Jerusalem. Do you think this might be one of the reasons they're trying to do that? I think it already happened, right? They already moved the embassy over there. So are they trying to like circumvent international law by moving the embassy? A little weird. Not gonna lie. A little weird. This mandate is ongoing and includes the escalation of hostilities and violence since October 7th, 2023. My office has also jurisdiction over crimes committed by nationals of state parties and by nationals non-state parties on territory of a state party. Today's applications are an outcome of independent and impartial investigation by my office, guided by our obligation to investigate incriminating and exonerating evidence. Equally, my office has worked painstakingly to separate claims from facts and to soberly present conclusions based on evidence to the pre-trial chamber. As an additional safeguard, I have also been grateful for the advice of the panel of experts in international law and impartial Group 1. There's a Roman numerals, but it's not a Roman numeral. It's an actual. Oh my God. An impartial group I convene to support the evidence review and legal analysis in relation to these arrest warrant applications. The panel is composed of experts of immense standing in international humanitarian law, international criminal law, including Sir Adrian Fulford, PC, former Lord Justice of Appeal and former International Criminal Court Judge, Baroness Helena Kennedy, KC, President of International Bar Association's Human Rights Institute, Elizabeth Wilmshurst, CMG, KC, former Deputy Legal Advisor at the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office, Danny Friedman, KC, and two of my special advisors, Amal Clooney and His Excellency Judge Theodore Moran, CMG. This independent expert analysis is supported and strengthen the applications filed together by my office. I have also been grateful for the contributions of a number of my other special advisors to this review, particularly Adam Ding and Professor Kevin and John Heller. Hey, look, listen. All you need is that contractual agreement that Palestine didn't sign, called the Balfour Declaration. You see that declaration right there, and you say, this declaration is nullified. It'll make your job a whole lot easier. Today, we once again underline the international law and laws of armed conflict apply to all. No foot soldier, no commander, no civilian leader. No one can act with impunity. Nothing can justify willfully depriving human beings, including so many women and children, the basic necessities required for life. Nothing can justify the taking of hostages or targeted civilians. True! The independent judges of International Criminal Court are the sole arbiters as to whether the necessary standard for issuance of warrants of arrest have been met. Should they grant my applications and issue press warrants, I will then work closely with the registrar and offer all efforts to apprehend the named individuals. I count on all states parties to the Rome Statute to take applications and the subsequent juror's decision with the same seriousness they have shown in other situations, meeting their obligations under the statute. I also stand ready to work with non-states parties in our common pursuit of accountability. It is critical in a moment around my office and all parts of the court, including independent judges, are permitted to conduct their work with full independence and impartiality. I insist that all attempts to impede, intimidate, or improperly influence the officials of the court must cease immediately. My office will not hesitate to act pursuant to Article 70 of the Rome Statute if such conduct continues. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Yeah! Yeah. Netanyahu already had tried to intimidate him. Already threatened the ICC. Oh, yeah. Fucking get him on a fucking Article 70. Ooh. Ooh. Charge some motherfuckers some more. I remain deeply concerned about ongoing allegations emerging evidence of international crimes occurring in Israel, Gaza, and West Bank. Our investigation continues. My office is advancing multiple and interconnected additional lines of inquiry, including concerning reports of sexual violence during the 7 October attacks, and in relation to the large-scale bombing that has caused and continues to cause so many civilian deaths, injuries, and suffering in Gaza. I encourage those with relevant information to contact my office and submit information via OTP link. Literally, there's the link. My office will not hesitate to submit further applications for warrants of arrest if and when we consider that the threshold of a realistic prospect of conviction has been met. I renew my call for all parties in the current conflict to comply with the law now. I also wish to emphasize the principle of the complementarity, which is at the heart of Rome Statute, and continue to be assessed by my office as we take action in relation to above listed alleged crimes, alleged perpetrators, and move forward with other lines of inquiry. Complementary, that's a weird fucking word. Complementary, however, requires a deferral to national authorities only when they engage in independent and impartial judicial processes that do not shield suspects and are not a sham. It requires thorough investigations at all levels addressing the policies and actions underlying these applications. Let us today be clear on one core issue. If we do not demonstrate our willingness to apply the law equally, if it is seen as being applied selectively, we will be creating the conditions for its collapse. In doing so, we will be loosening the remaining bonds that hold us together, destabilizing connections between all communities and individuals, the safety net to which all victims look in times of suffering. This is the true risk we face in this moment. Now more than ever, we must collectively demonstrate that international humanitarian law, the foundational baseline for human conduct during conflict, applies to all individuals and applies equally across the situations addressed by my office and the court. This is how we prove tangibly that the lives of all human beings have equal value. For further details on preliminary examinations, situations, and cases before the court, click here and here. We're not going to get into that tonight, but we will get into the video.
Today, I'm filing applications for warrants of arrest before Pretrial Chamber 1 of the International Criminal Court in the situation in the State of Palestine. These applications are the outcome of independent investigations conducted by my office under the direction of the two principal trial lawyers standing behind me today, Brenda J. Hollis, who in addition to leading our work in the situation in Ukraine for the past couple of years, has since January also taken over leadership of the Palestine investigation. And Andrew Cayley, King's Counsel, who more recently joined the office and will be leading our work on the situation in the state of Palestine going forward. On the basis of evidence collected and examined and analysed by my office, I have reasonable grounds to believe that 3 senior leaders of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Daif, and Ismail Haniyeh, bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of Israel and the state of Palestine from at least the 7th of October, 2023.
I've got a problem that I'm pretty sure you...
Oh, this is criminal. They should not do this. They should not put ads on this. They should not put ads on this. Come on, YouTube. You're better than this.
Extermination as a crime against humanity. Murder as a crime against humanity and as a war crime. The taking of hostages as a war crime. Rape and other acts of sexual violence during captivity as crimes against humanity and as war crimes. Torture during captivity as a crime against humanity and as a war crime. Other inhumane acts during captivity as a crime against humanity. Cruel treatment during captivity as a war crime. And outrages upon personal dignity during captivity as a war crime. These crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict detailed in the applications and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Israel by Hamas and other armed groups. My office submits that there are reasonable grounds to believe that these 3 Hamas leaders are criminally responsible for the killing of Israeli civilians in attacks perpetrated by Hamas and other armed groups on the 7th of October 2023, the taking of hostages, and the other crimes alleged in our applications. My office has diligently collected evidence and interviewed survivors and eyewitnesses at the scene of at least 6 major attack locations. The applications rely upon evidence such as CCTV footage, authenticated audio, photographs and video material, expert evidence, and statements by Hamas and the members of other armed groups, including by the alleged perpetrators themselves. Sinwar, Daif, and Haniyeh not only planned and instigated the crimes committed on the 7th of October 2023 in our submission, they also acknowledged their responsibility through their own words and by their actions. They are charged both as co-perpetrators and as superiors. My office also submits today that there are reasonable grounds to believe that hostages taken from Israel, taken from their homes, taken from their communities, have been kept in inhumane conditions, and that some have been subjected to horrendous sexual violence, including rape, while being held in captivity. We have reached that conclusion based upon medical records, contemporaneous video and documentary evidence, and interviews with survivors. We are continuing our investigations into crimes committed on the 7th of October, including investigating further reports of sexual violence. And I repeat and underline my call for the immediate release of all hostages taken from Israel and for their immediate safe return to their families. This is a fundamental imperative, demanded by good conscience, demanded by morality, and demanded by international humanitarian law. Hostages must be released immediately. I can also confirm today that I have reasonable grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts.
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Come on, another ad? Gotta blank it out. No, Sicko Talks posting another video. Wish I could watch it right now, but
It's alleged that these crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Gaza pursuant to a state policy. Unfortunately, these crimes continue to this day. My office submits that these individuals, through a common plan, have systematically deprived the civilian population of Gaza of objects indispensable to human survival. We have reached that conclusion based upon interviews with survivors, many eyewitnesses, experts, from satellite imagery, statements from Israeli officials, including the 2 individuals subject to the present application, as well as based upon several hundred authenticated videos, photographs, and audio recordings, many of which were taken and shared by victims and eyewitnesses themselves. This systematic deprivation resulted from a decision to impose a total siege on Gaza by completely closing the 3 border crossing points, Rafah, Kerem Shalom, and Erez, for extended periods of time, and by arbitrarily restricting the transportation of essential supplies, including food and medicine, through the border crossings after they were reopened. The siege, the total siege, also involved cutting off cross-border water pipelines from Israel to Gaza, which is the principal source of clean water for the population in Gaza. It was cut off for prolonged periods beginning on the 9th of October 2023, and it was accompanied by the cutting off or hindering of electricity supplies to Gaza from the 8th of October 2023 until today. That conduct took place alongside attacks that killed civilians, including people queuing for food, the obstruction of aid delivery by humanitarian organizations, and attacks on aid workers that forced many of those same humanitarian organizations to either cease operations or limit their life-saving efforts in Gaza. The tragic effect of the use of starvation as a method of warfare against Gaza's civilian population is acute, it's visible, and it's widely known, and it's confirmed by multiple witnesses and victims, including local and foreign medical doctors. That starvation has caused and continues to cause deaths, malnutrition, dehydration, and profound suffering among the population. Famine is already present in some areas of Gaza, and it is imminent in others. My office charges Netanyahu and Gallant as co-perpetrators and as superiors in the commission of these alleged crimes. Israel, like all states, has the right to defend its population. It has every right to ensure the return of hostages that have been criminally and callously taken. Those rights, however, do not absolve Israel of its obligations to comply with international humanitarian law. Intentionally causing death, starvation, injury, and suffering to the civilian population, including so very many women and children, are criminal means to achieve military and political goals. That's what we allege.
The definition
As
of
I
terrorism.
have repeatedly underlined, since last year in Egypt, in Israel, and in Palestine, and again this year, those who do not comply with the law should not complain later when my office takes action based upon solid evidence.
Most people have no clue that.
Oh my God. This should be criminal. I have to watch it through another source. Just so I don't have to keep doing this.
That day has come. Today we underline in the clearest possible fashion that international law and the laws of armed conflict apply to everyone. No foot soldier, no commander, no civilian leader, no one can act with impunity. Nothing on earth can justify willfully depriving human beings, including women and children, babies, the old and the young, of the basic necessities required for life. Nothing on earth can justify hostage taking or the targeting and killing of civilians. The independent judges of this International Criminal Court are the sole arbiters as to whether the necessary standard for the issuance of warrants of arrest have been met. The judges of the International Criminal Court must be now given the space to do their work and to dispassionately and objectively review the evidence that we have submitted. Should the learned judges approve my applications and issue the requested warrants, I will work closely with the registrar of the court to apprehend the named individuals. I call upon and count on all states, especially state parties to the Rome Statute, to approach this application and the subsequent judicial decision that will be rendered with the same seriousness they have shown in other situations. I also stand ready to work with non-state parties in our common pursuit of justice and accountability. It is critical in this moment that my office and all parts of the court continue to conduct our work with full independence and impartiality. And I insist that all attempts to impede, to intimidate, or to improperly influence the officials of this court cease immediately. My office will not hesitate to act pursuant to the provisions of Article 70 of the Rome Statute if such conduct continues and persists. We will also submit further applications for warrants of arrest if and when we determine, after independent and objective analysis, that the threshold of realistic prospect of conviction has been met. My office is advancing multiple and interconnected additional lines of inquiry, including concerning reports of sexual violence during the 7th of October attacks in Israel and in relation to the large-scale bombing that has caused and continues to cause so many civilian deaths and injuries and so much suffering in Gaza. I renew my call for all parties to the current conflict to comply with these basic principles of law without any further delay. I also wish to emphasize that the principle of complementarity at the heart of the Rome Statute will continue to be assessed by my office as we take action in relation to the alleged crimes and alleged perpetrators, and as we move forward with other lines of inquiry. But complementarity requires us to defer to national authorities only when they sincerely engage in independent and impartial judicial processes that do not shield suspects from accountability and which are not a sham. It requires thorough investigations at all levels, addressing the policies and actions underlying these applications. Today, I wish to underline one message very clearly. It's my strong conviction that if we do not demonstrate our willingness to apply the law equally, if it is seen as being applied selectively, we will be creating the conditions for its complete collapse. And in doing so, we would be loosening the remaining bonds that hold us together, the stabilizing connections between all communities, all individuals, the safety net to which all victims look to in times of suffering. This is the true risk we face at this perilous moment. Now more than ever, we must collectively demonstrate that international humanitarian law, the foundational baseline for human conduct during conflict, applies to all individuals and applies equally across situations addressed by my office and by the court. This is how we will prove, tangibly, in real terms, for all victims, that the lives of all human beings, wherever they may be, have equal value.
Oh, don't say that. That might be construed as all lives matter. But there you go. Like you said, the equal application under the law. It's not like he's just going out there and saying, "Oh, we're just going to go pursue Netanyahu and his cabinet." Well, we're only going to go after, one guy here. We're only going after Gallant Sinwar. Oh, I can't even remember how you even pronounce these names. Yeah, Netanyahu and Gallant. That's it. That's all we're asking for. But the rest of these individuals, yeah, what are they going to do? Turn themselves in? I'd recommend that. I recommend anybody right now make it easy, because chances are the restaurants are going to just come in. You just got to turn yourself in. That's it. Just turn yourself in. Now, what happened on October 7th? I'm still going to list under scrutiny. There's a lot of things over there that seems a little hokey, and I'm not too sure how I can do this. I want to expand this out. If I do it that way, if I could just like select a small little window of it. Anyway, Israel admits it killed its own at the Nova Music Festival by the Cradle. This was posted. Oh man, this sucks. Let me see if I can get you a better window, because I sent this to myself. There we go. It's still tiny though. Can I? I'm wondering how we can do this. See, with exploits, it's kind of easy. With this, it's just kind of like, screen capture. I don't really want to do that. I could do browser. Can I duplicate? Duplicate. I want to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy that, paste it here, and see what it is. Same thing. Ugh. Instagram is just not very easy to watch. So, just do it this way. Okay. So, Israel admits it killed its own at Nova Music Festival. A police investigation show Israeli Apache helicopters opened fire on attendants of the Nova Music Festival during the 7th October Hamas attack. News desk. This is by The Cradle. Let me actually back reference that. The Cradle. Who is this by? What is this? How do I do a search? Here we go. October. Suppose you guys watch. Here we go. 7. May. What the hell? Dates. Last 30 days. Topic all. Algeria positions a UNSC resolution to stop the killing in Rafah, of which they were specifically told not to attack Rafah. In one ear and out the motherfucking other. Anti-genocide protesters put Israeli embassy in Mexico with Molotov cocktails. Holy shit. Oh my god. Well, that's not really gonna fix much, but yeah. Israel doesn't seem very welcome in other countries. Can I get anything? October 7th. Yeah. So my newest, oldest. U.S. State Department resignations mount over support for Israel. Half a dozen mid and senior level U.S. officials have resigned since October over Washington's continued support for Israeli genocide in Gaza. Ooh, oh shit. This is giving us a lot of information. Just India evacuates nationals from Afghanistan. 7 provincial capital falls to Taliban. Don't want to forget the rest of the world's moving up too. Taliban leaders invited Moscow for talks in Afghanistan. You know why? Because Afghanistan's also, kind of hand in hand with Russia. U.S. built Gaza Pier out of commission less than 2 weeks after launch. Biggest navy in known human history. Okay? We can't even build a fucking pier. Human history. Bigger than England's navy, bigger than Persians. Like, you want to? Let's go back fucking thousands and thousands of years. We have the biggest, and we can't even build a fucking pier. Operational security concerns have plagued the $320 million structure since its conception. As rights groups have repeatedly said, the only way to overcome famine in Gaza for Israel open all land crossings into the strip. That's all he had to do. Literally, you could see for thousands of miles, like Gaza aid trucks. Let's just see if we can find here. Overhead view. I mean, I'm just looking for pictures of thousands and thousands of trucks. Humanitarian aid. Okay, let's see here. Rafah border crossing. God, that is a piss poor image. Although it's loading, so maybe it'll get clearer. I mean, they're just sitting there waiting. There's the pier. There's UNRWA. Oh, they're anti-Semitic. Yeah, okay. I just took the power completely out of your slur. What's that? Oh, huh. Didn't realize that the Semites of the Palestinians, the Palestinian Semites, yeah, they're anti-Semitic. Dumbest fucking argument. Were you in? Look at all that. Look at that. So, Cradle seems like it's doing pretty. Like, I can just go up here and what do we got? We got Yemen manufactures anti-ship missiles with Iranian know-how. That's great. Israeli official calls to confront resistance even if West Bank looks like Gaza. Oh, God. It's just openly fucking genocidal. Spain, Ireland, Norway officially recognized Palestinian state. Irish officials say a recent EU meeting witnessed the first significant talks to sanction Israel. New Israeli attack on displacement camp kills scores of Gazans. Attack targeted an area where Palestinians have fled to as a result of indiscriminate bombardment on the southern city of Rafah. That's what I wanted to cover. There you go. Israeli forces committed another massacre near Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah. It's like right next to the Egyptian border. In so much that even Egyptian officials are like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You're starting to go after Egyptians here. You're getting over the line. Top EU official accused the ICC of complicity in the Gaza genocide. God. Northern Israeli settlement severs ties with Tel Aviv. Demands an army withdrawal report. I mean, it's just every day. I mean, I just read you like 10 articles right there. Just shit just going on. Every day. I can't cover this. My channel would be at risk because it's so gory. Committed another massacre. No, another They just admitted it's another massacre. Just, one more. Just one more. We'll throw it in the fucking pile. There goes on the afternoon of 28 May, killing. That was yesterday, by the way. Fucking yesterday. Killing over 20 Palestinians in the third attack of its kind in 2 days. According to Gaza civil defense spokesman, 4 artillery shells targeted tents for displaced Palestinians in the coastal Al-Mawasi area south of the Strip and west of Rafah. Gaza's health ministry said at least 20 were killed in the attack carried out with artillery shells. This is exactly where they were told to go. Go to South Gaza. We're bombing the shit out of the north. Everybody from North Gaza needs to go to Rafah immediately. They need it. And so they do. And what happens? That doesn't seem like a genocide at all. Yeah, okay. They're fucking tents, dude. They're living in tents. Palestinians have been fleeing to al-Mawasi to escape the ensuing bombardment of Rafah. Footage shared on social media showed scores of bodies on the ground as people nearby screamed and prayed. Lead West Asia's media space. Okay. Just hours earlier, Israeli artillery and tank fire targeted tents in Tal al-Sultan area in northwestern Rafah, the same area where a massacre was committed by Israel on Sunday. Every day. Man, those tents must have been such a threat. 7 people were killed and others were injured as a result of artillery shelling and targeted tent camps for displaced people in Tal al-Sultan area, northwest of the city of Rafah. Wafa news agency reported on Tuesday. The deadly attack on Tal al-Sultan came as Israeli forces are pressing ahead with their operation in Rafah, which began on 7th May and has forcibly displaced 1 million Palestinians. Oh my God. Did they manage to move 1 million people from the north to the south, or that's 1 million people currently living in Rafah? Because there's only 2.3 million Gazans. Well, before October 7th. It's significantly less now. But still, 1 million people up north, 1 million people down south. At least 40 Palestinians were killed on 26 May in Israeli airstrikes on a tent camp in northwestern Rafah. Israeli attack on Sunday evening used over 6 missiles and left several women and children dead. And fuck the men, right? Right? Come on, at least you're dead. Or hell, if you really want to stick it to Israel, we're going to make this really fun. How many Jews have died since October 7th? By Israeli hands? Because if we're not going to give a fuck about men, I mean, at least give a shit about the Jews. Because if you're sitting there indiscriminately killing people, and some of them might be, Semitic Jews, uh-oh. Now it's considered a war crime, right? Right, Israel? Israeli attack on Sunday evening used over 6 minutes. The area targeted had been designated as a safe zone by Israel and sheltered thousands of displaced Palestinians. Massacre came 2 days after the International Court of Justice, ICJ, ordered Israel to halt its military offensive in Rafah as part of the ongoing genocide case filed by South Africa. People in the U.S., France, Turkey, and elsewhere took to the streets on 27th May in protest against Israel's violence. Look at this. This is the fucking told. Israeli jets opened fire on Rafah safe zone, killing dozens. May 26th. Jesus Christ. I can't. Let's just watch this. This is from the Cradle, the news that we're just on. Israel admits it killed its own at Nova Music Festival. This was posted November 19, 2023. Israeli Apache helicopters killed on soldiers, civilians on 7th October. Report. News footage. I cannot read that. Corroborates previous reports. Okay. Alright, posted November 9th, 2023. Israeli official investigation concluded an Israeli military helicopter killed revelers at Nova Rave on 7 October and that Hamas did not know about the festival. Hamas didn't know about the festival. Haaretz. Why would Haaretz post that? Israeli official investigation concluded an Israeli military helicopter killed rebels at the Nova rave on October 7th. Keep going. Video confirms tank struck home with Israeli captives on 7th October. That was posted December 19th, 2023. That's what's left. Oh my god. Israeli Apache Novo Music Festival. I don't even know if I can even show this. Festival goers. Jesus Christ. Okay. Alright. I think we've seen enough. Now tell me, does Palestine have, do the Palestinians have an Apache helicopter? I'm not talking Hamas. I'm talking, do the Palestinians have an attack helicopter? Do they have access to an attack helicopter? No, they don't? That's weird. So they investigated themselves and found themselves of wrongdoing. That's great. News about Rafah. Israel strikes kill at least 37 Palestinians. Most intense near Gaza's Rafah. Pressure builds on Biden after Israeli strike kills dozens of civilians in Rafah. The city split between Egypt and Gaza Strip and serving as the only crossing point between them. So, yeah. Here's why you're seeing the All Eyes on Rafah image shared across social media. Israel seizes Gaza's entire border with Egypt. Al Jazeera. U.S.-made munitions used in deadly strike on Rafah. Israel denies strike on camp near Rafah. We got video evidence. We got everything. Everybody's saying, yeah, Israel attacked Rafah. Yeah, another massacre. Israel attacked Rafah. Told specifically not to attack Rafah. Attacks Rafah anyway. That's a good meme right there. Told not to attack Rafah. Attacks Rafah anyway. Maybe I'll make that a thumbnail. It's just a meme. It's just a fucking meme. Netanyahu's a fucking petulant child. You tell him not to do something, he'll fucking do it. Israel far on Gaza live. Rafah is on fire. U.S.-made bomb used in Israeli strike on Rafah that killed. Israel seizes Gaza right. Oh, you want to see what's really fucked up? Okay, so here's one of your elected officials that should be arrested for treason. Nikki Haley. Signs shell. Nikki Haley writes, finished him on Israeli artillery shell. Oh, you want the picture? Yeah. There you go. There you fucking go. There you go. Right there. Fucking signature. Fucking American official right here. Fucking elected official. Arrest her fucking ass. For complicity in genocide, please. America loves Israel always. Oh my God. Fucking disgusting. Oh, look, Rumble. Death shells. This is on Warrant Thornton. It's on Rumble. Rumble's like your conservative outlet. Holy shit. I'm so glad journalists caught her fucking ass. Here we go. American defense Israel. Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Justin III stated that the U.S. remains committed to supporting Israel's efforts to defeat Hamas terror group in Gaza, while understanding that such efforts must prioritize keeping Palestinian civilians out of harm's way. Yeah, well, you guys are doing an excellent fucking job, aren't you? Pew Research. Majority U.S. say Israel has valid reasons for fighting. Oh, okay. U.S. defended Israel. Now Israel must listen to U.S. After Iran's attack on Israel stopped a major help from the U.S., and Netanyahu has to heed them going forward. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Anti. Here we go. House passes bill to expand definition of anti-Semitism among growing campus protests over Gaza war. Directly in violation of your First Amendment rights, which, by the way, okay, cool. Cool. We're gonna make this fun. You wanted to expand the definition of anti-Semitism? Do you care to expand the definition of Semitism? Hmm? Do you even know what the definition of Semitism is? Tell us. No, tell the American people. Come on. State it in front of the audience, in front of the court, in front of the jury, in front of everybody. On the record. Come on. What is the definition of Semitism? What does it mean to be a Semite? No, that's not it. Mr. Lawyer, whoever my lawyer was going to be, present them the evidence of what Semitism is. Yeah, that's right. That means the Palestinians are Semites. How is it anti-Semitic for me to be in favor of Palestinian lives? How is that anti-Semitic? Israel is a fucking state, dude. It's not a religion. Washington, AP. The House passed legislation Wednesday that would establish a broader definition of anti-Semitism for the Department of Education to enforce anti-discrimination laws. The latest response from lawmakers to the nationwide student protest movement over Israel-Hamas war. The proposal, which passed 320-91 with some bipartisan support, because of fucking course they would. Of course your fucking liberal side. I don't know about the leftists. Maybe the leftists are in there too. Fucking wouldn't fucking surprise me. But, your liberals, they're going to be joining in on this too, saying, oh, we got to support. Would codify the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliances. Oh my fucking God, I fucking knew they would do it. Can't criticize Israel because of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. Definition of anti-Semitism and Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, federal anti-discrimination law bars discrimination based on shared ancestry, ethnic characteristics, or national origin. Well, fuck me sideways. What about the ancestry, ethnic characteristics, or national origin of Palestinians? No, fuck it. Let's look. What do we got? This is Holocaust remembrance, okay? Recognition of anti-Semitism. Read the full text of IHRA non-legally binding working definition of non-legally binding. Non-legally binding. Which means if it's not legally binding, why the fuck are you trying to make it legally binding? I'm sorry, but nothing trumps the First Amendment. You best get your definition of Semitism correct. You best fucking do it. And then you'll say to yourself, well, shit the bed. This is just fucking neutral. We don't have a state in this at all. What about the Palestinians that are being genocided right now? Do they get a Holocaust remembrance? In the spirit of Stockholm Declaration, the states with humanity still scarred by ... ellipses. Anti-Semitism and xenophobia in the international community shares a solemn responsibility to fight those evils. The Committee on Anti-Semitism and Holocaust Denial called the IHRA plenary in Budapest 2015 to adopt the following working definition of anti-Semitism. Oh my fucking god. May 26, 2016, the plenary in Budapest decided to adopt the following non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews. Oh my fucking god. No! Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations. They got me so fucking pissed off. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property towards Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. Or non-Jewish individuals. Okay, that would mean Palestinians, right? Right? Oh my god. The whole anti-Semitism argument is null and void. It can't be fucking applied here because Palestinians are fucking Semites. Duh! Anti-Semitism, the whole notion of Semitism has nothing to do with the Jewish faith. Nothing. It pertains to language. We've already went over this. We can go ahead and read the fucking Wikipedia article. Did you see Jewish expressed in there? No. Hebrew. Oh, Hebrew is practiced by certain Jews, but Semitically, yeah, it goes by region. People living in Palestine, people living in Lebanon, people living in the north of Africa. Yeah, they're speaking Arabic. They're Semites. You will not hear from anything. You will not hear from Holocaust remembrance. Hey, there's Muslims. We got some definitely some Islamophobia going through America right now. Maybe we should do something about that. Not a peep. Not a fucking peep. Why? Because they'll just say, well, Muslims, not all Muslims speak Arabic. Oh. Okay. Okay. And not all Jews speak Hebrew. To guide IHRA in its work, the following examples may serve as illustrations. Manifestation may include the targeting of state of Israel. Oh my God. Can't do that. Every single country on this planet is subject to criticism. You are allowed to criticize, boycott, divest, whatever you want as an American citizen because of that first fucking amendment. You're inalienable right. Targeting the state of Israel. Conceived as Jewish collectivity. However, criticism of Israel similar to that leveled against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. Oh, well, there you go. So what the fuck is the definition of targeting then? If you're already going to say so already you're admitting that the law that they're trying to pass to expand the definition of anti-Semitism. Oh, look, criticism of Israel similar to level against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism frequently charges Jews with conspiring to harm humanity and is often used to blame Jews for why things go wrong. It is expressed in speech, writing, visual forms, and action, and employs sinister stereotypes and negative character traits. Okay, so that's what Netanyahu's going by. See, anti-Semitism, it's charging me, and I'm Jewish, and because I'm Jewish, and I'm conspiring to harm humanity, you know. I mean, you're not helping your case out much when that's literally what you're trying to do. Conspiring to harm humanity. Yeah, that's what Israel's doing right now. I don't think that has anything to do with your Jewish faith. I don't know if there's something in your holy books to say, hey, one must slaughter the entirety of. Oh wait, fuck, there is. Shit, I forgot. The Canaanites. And they're literally using the Holocaust as a defense mechanism. I knew it. I knew it. I knew they would. Which is woefully, outrageously disgusting. Millions of Jews did not die so you could go and slaughter more people in the name of Israel. Calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or extremist view of religion. Oh, we're not doing that. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews and such power of Jews as collective, such as especially about exclusivity, myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. If Israel wants something done, they'll get it fucking done. Using the United States to get it done. And the British Empire. Fuck the Balfour Declaration. That's good fucking evidence right there. Is it Jews? No. It's Zionists. But we're gonna, the Zionists are just as happy to use Jews as a fucking scapegoat. It's disgusting. Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. Denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, e.g. gas chambers, or intentionality of the genocide of the Jewish people at the hands of National Socialist Germany and supporters and accomplices during World War II, the Holocaust. Denying the Holocaust. Wait. Isn't Netanyahu like a revisionist? I think didn't they say he was like a revisionist or something? Fuck, I don't remember. There you go. Hell, there's Jews right now that are probably Holocaust deniers. In fact, there's a Montel episode back in 1992 of just a thing. And they weren't even denying the Holocaust. They were just like, something stinks here. Seems like this Holocaust was a little bit more of a political ploy than it likes to lead itself on to be. They're just questioning. That's all they're doing is asking questions. And everybody was like pissed at them. We're not denying the Holocaust. We're just saying that the numbers were fudged up for a political ploy, i.e. in the establishment of Israel. Accusing the Jews as a people, or Israel as a state of inventing and exaggerating Holocaust. Oh, Jesus. That's specific. Accusing the Jews as a people, or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. So you can't say that Israel. No, that would be anti-Semitic. Accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than the interest of their own nations. What the fuck? What the fuck? Denying the Jewish people the right to self-determination, e.g. by claiming the existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor. Oh my God. So you can't state that Israel is an ethno-state. That's anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic. You can't state that Israel is a Jewish ethno-state. That the existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor. Really? All the evidence here, you quite literally racist actions against Palestinians? No, can't say that. Applying double standards by requiring of a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation. Okay. I mean, this is all given Israel's existence credulence by saying that you can't criticize Israel. And it's like, wait, let's come to question the illegal, okay, the illegal existence. Does it have a right to exist if the Palestinian people never signed for it? The only thing you've got is the Balfour Declaration. Was it ever ratified? No. Pretty sure when you're trying to establish a democratic nation, we have literal documentation for that. Look at the Constitution itself. It was ratified. Not difficult to do. Did you ask the Palestinian people at all? Did you ask them? No, you didn't. So, requiring of a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation, all we're asking for you to do is ratify the Balfour Declaration by bringing up Palestinian people and saying, hey, sign this. Oh, we're not going to sign that. Okay, then. Nullified. And also the fact that the demands set forth by the Balfour Declaration, yeah, it's a nullified contract. Any other legal sense, anything, if you cannot abide by that contract, it's nullified. It's no good. Using as simple as images associated with classic anti-Semitism, e.g. claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel. What the fuck? I'm sorry, are you gonna rewrite, like, biblical stories now here. What the? To characterize Israel or Israelis, I don't. Okay, we're not even talking about Jews specifically. This is not even about Jews. Do you notice anything about this? It's not stating about Jews specifically. It's stating about the state of Israel, the country of Israel. The country of Israel is a country of Israel. It's not the people inside it. It is the country itself. Criticism of that country is absolutely well within the right of not only Americans, but internationally. It is your right. It is a country like anything else. Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of Nazis. Oh my God. What the fuck is going on over in Gaza right now? You tell me. Quoting Jews collectively responsible for the action of the state of Israel. There's again, state of Israel. Okay, the actions of the state of Israel, yeah, they're separated from the actions of Jews. Yes, true. Anti-Semitic acts are criminal when they are so defined by law. For example, denial of a Holocaust or distribution of anti-Semitic materials in some countries. Subjective. Denial of the Holocaust is a criminal act. Just. Nobody's denying that the Holocaust didn't happen. Criminal acts are anti-Semitic when the targets of attacks, whether they are people or property, such as buildings, schools, places of worship, and cemeteries, are selected because they are or perceived to be Jewish or linked to Jews. And notice, none of this, you'll notice on all of this, there's not a single mention of any other country, any other demographic that is Semitic. Lebanese, I don't see it. That's listed on there. Arabs, I don't see that on there. Anti-Semitic discrimination is denial to Jews of opportunities or services available to others and is illegal in many countries. Then you're missing it. You need to really change your definition then. You need to have something completely different. No. The word Semitism doesn't work in that description. Because Semitism applies to all kinds of people. And we already... What did we do? Semitic languages. We've already proven this. Oh my God. And then when I expand this, so a federal act anti-discrimination law that bars discrimination based on shared ancestry, ethnic characteristics. Action on the bill was just a lazy reverberation to Congress from the protest movement that has swept university campuses. Republicans in Congress have denounced the protests and demanded action to stop them, which, by the way, pretty sure the right to protest is expressly in the Constitution, First Amendment. If you don't like the act of protest, especially in the United States, get the fuck out. Any Republican That is denouncing the act of protest. Any Republican condemning the act of protest should be found in violation of the Constitution and shall be arrested for treason. Thus, university officials in the center of a charged political debate over Israel's conduct of the war in Gaza. More than 33,000 Palestinians have been killed since the war was launched in October after Hamas staged a deadly terrorist attack against Israeli civilians. Supposedly. And that's the thing, staged a deadly attack. There's no allegement here. There's just like staged. Oh, this actually happened. There's no allegedly anywhere. Allegedly, Israel did this. Allegedly, Hamas did that. There was, in any of these, you will not see the word allegedly. If passed by the Senate and signed into law, the bill would broaden the legal definition of anti-Semitism and include targeting the state of Israel conceived as a Jewish collective. Oh, that's already on there. Targeting of the state of Israel conceived as a Jewish collectivity. But they've put a little caveat on there. Yeah, you can, but, underneath that, Israel is still, fit for criticism. Critics say the move would have a chilling effect on free speech throughout college campuses. Absolutely. Feature as critical as Israel alone does not constitute unlawful discrimination. Representative Jerry Nadler of Democrat, holy shit, of New York, holy shit. I'm sure his, there's probably being condemned right now, like, oh, well, I don't like him. We're not voting for him next year. Said during a hearing Tuesday, by encompassing purely political speech about Israel into Title 506's ambit, the bill sweeps too broadly. True. Because it's speech. It's speech. It's speech. And it's speech. It's not actions. It's speech. What we're trying to do is criminalize thought crime. Or criminalize thoughts. We're trying to man, that got me so fucking pissed off. Advocates of the proposal say it would provide a much-needed, consistent framework for the Department of Education and Police and investigate the rising cases of discrimination and harassment targeted toward Jewish students, of which they have absolutely no evidence. Believe me, there were people trying to stand out there, flailing their arms. I'm Jewish. Attack me. It is long past time that Congress act to protect Jewish Americans from the scourge of anti-Semitism on campuses around the country. Now, it's not fucking happening, dude. Representative Russell Fry, Republican, of course, South Carolina, said Tuesday, the expanded definition of anti-Semitism was first adopted in 2016 by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, intergovernmental group that includes the United States and European Union states, and has been embraced by the State Department in the past 3 presidential administrations, including Joe Biden's. Previous bipartisan efforts to codify it in law have failed. Yes, you know why? Because it flies right directly in the face of fucking First Amendment. You don't like that? Like I stated before, get the fuck out. Go live in a country that doesn't have free speech. There you go. If you don't exercise your free speech, it's just going to atrophy. So guess what? We're going to go ahead and exercise our free speech. But the October 7th terrorist attack by Hamas militants in Israel and the subsequent war at Gaza have reignited efforts to target innocents of anti-Semitism on college campuses. Separately, Speaker Mike Johnson announced today that several House committees will be tasked with a wide probe that ultimately threatens to withhold federal research grants and other government support for universities, placing another pressure point on campus administrators who are struggling to manage pro-Palestinian encampments, allegations of discrimination against Jewish students, and questions of how they're integrating free speech in campus safely. safety. The House investigation follows several high-profile hearings that help precipitate the resignations of presidents at Harvard and University of Pennsylvania. House Republicans promises more scrutiny, saying they were calling the administration of Yale, UCLA, and University of Michigan to testify next month. The House Oversight Committee took it one step further Wednesday, sending a small delegation of Republican members to an encampment at nearby George Washington University in District of Columbia. GOP lawmakers spent a short visit criticizing protests and Mayor Muriel Bowser's refusal to send a Metropolitan Police Department to disperse demonstrators. Oh, that's too fucking bad. Gee, how dare they exercise their constitutional rights? No, what this is just what you're doing is incriminating yourself. So next election, who do we have here that we need to not have elected next year? House Oversight Committee. We're going to have all the members of the House Oversight Committee. We're going to go ahead and sending a delegation of Republican members. Why specifically Republicans? Weird. House Oversight Committee. Any member of that, don't elect them next year. Gone. Violation. Treason. Basically, they swore an oath to the Constitution. They couldn't uphold that oath. Violated a contract to the Constitution. Gone. Get them out of office. GOP lawmakers spent a short visit criticizing the protests of Mayor Muriel Bowser's. Okay, all those GOP lawmakers, gone. Elected officials, they swore an oath to the Constitution. Gone. Get them out. Vote them out. Get them out. Gone. You swore an oath to the Constitution, you violated the Constitution. Guess what, bitch? Gone. I can't... No, they should be arrested for treason. Best we can do is vote the motherfuckers out. That's what we can do as Americans. That's what we do. Vote them out. Let the next ones roll in. Next ones violate the Constitution. When the fuck will they learn? Bowser on Monday confirmed that city and district police officers declined the university's request to intervene. We did not have any violence to interrupt on GW campus. Bowser said, adding that police chief Pamela Smith made the ultimate decision. This is Washington, D.C., and we are, by design, a place where people come to address the government and their grievances with the government. Hey, make sure Bowser gets reelected. That guy deserves a medal. The GOP, fuck out of here. That right there, that's balls right there. This is Washington, D.C., and we are, by design, a place where people come to address the government and their grievances with the government. Now comes at a time when college campuses and federal government are struggling to define exactly where political speech crosses into anti-Semitism. Dozens of U.S. universities and schools face civil rights investigations by the Education Department over allegations of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Now, there we go. I mean, here's the thing. All religions are fit for criticism. So if you're not allowed to criticize Judaism, if you're not allowed to criticize Islam or Christianity or anything, I mean, that's kind of the purpose, kind of the point and purpose of being secular. You're not agnostic, secular, you know, maybe you're an atheist. There's people who have made plenty of careers off of being an atheist and criticizing religion. That's their job. They go in debates. Hey, debate a Jew. Oh, you might be considered anti-Semitic. Do you see the problem there? Do you see the fucking problem? Among questions campus leaders struggle to answer is whether phrases like "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" should be considered under the definition of anti-Semitism. Okay. If it's considered anti-Semitism, then that's exactly what Netanyahu said about Israel. So if that's allowed, but Palestine, the word Palestine, that's all you're changing is the word Palestine, which still would have Jews still living in Palestine happily. Yeah, we're just going by the old maps here. Oh, I see. You're trying to go by the existence of, trying to justify the existence of Israel as a country. I'm sorry, it's a country. That would be like saying, well, the USSR should exist because it's a country. No, the USSR disbanded. That's like, no, I'll tell you what. A confederacy. There you go. Should the confederacy still exist because it was considered a separate country? Should it have a right to exist? Should the confederacy have a right to exist? Now that's a debate. I'm not going to answer to that. We're going to see what kind of response that would get. It's a country. Countries rise and fall all the time due to their complete mismanagement. And that's kind of what happened to the USSR. Like literally, because of the Chernobyl incident, yeah, that was one of the reasons why the USSR fell. It's now Russia. Nothing really changed. The people that were living in USSR are still living within the borders of the USSR or where they were, living, but the borders changed and stuff. You got Ukraine and Belarus, and, Russia, and all them. Crimea, it's all separated, and their own little conglomerates. Is it still the USSR? No, but that's what happens. So yes, Israel as a country still fit for criticism. The proposed definition faced strong opposition from several Democratic lawmakers, Jewish organizations, as well as free speech advocates. And Jewish organizations? The proposed definition faced strong opposition by Jewish organizations. Holy shit! In a letter sent to lawmakers Friday, American Civil Liberties Union urged members to vote against the legislation, saying federal law already prohibits anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment. True. H.R. 6090 is therefore not needed to protect against anti-Semitic discrimination. Instead, it would likely chill free speech of students on college campuses by incorrectly equating criticism of Israeli government with anti-Semitism. There you go. Jeremy Ben-Amé, president of his centrist pro-Israel group J Street, said his organization opposes a bipartisan proposal because he sees it as an unserious effort led by Republicans to continuously force votes by the Democratic caucus on an issue that shouldn't be turned into a political football. So there you go, folks. The United States actively, just because of your exercising your rights to protest, actively trying to pass laws, but with no evidence that any Jewish students are being harmed, except for when a student gets poked in the eye by a Palestinian flag, and then all they were doing was walking by and ran their no. You want to see something fucked up? You want to see something fucked up? You're gonna love this. No. Where's it at? Oh, where's it at? I cannot find it. TikTok? Am I going to have to go to TikTok for this shit? October 7th, factcheck.com on Twitter. Oh, that's a general search. Okay, we'll go to Twitter then. Oh, this is hilarious. I'm muted. Okay.
Dude, don't hit me with your fucking flag! Dude, don't hit me with your fucking flag!
He went out of his way to fucking headbutt the flag. I mean, look at this shit. Can we do like a slow motion? Oh yes, we can. Slow it down. Slow. Here we go. Hey, caught in 4K, motherfucker. Look at you.
Hit me with your fucking flag! False accusations! Hit me with that flag again!
Or fucking what?
What happened? Dude, don't hit me!
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Let me check this out. Biden, if Israel invades Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons. U.S. made munitions and used in Jeddah starving Rafah tent camp. Yep. I mean, this was so fucking obvious it was gonna happen. Rafah, despite international calls to halt offensive. Yep. And here's your here we go. State Department right here, right? White House spokesperson John Kirby. Okay. Here we go. This is.
Israeli tanks just moved into central Rafah. How is that not a major military operation?
Well, again, I don't want to talk about Israeli Defense Force operations, but my understanding is, and I believe the Israelis have spoken to this, that they are moving along something called the Philadelphia corridor, which is on the outskirts of the town, not in the town proper. That's what the Israelis have said. We're not on the ground, Gabe. We're not there. I mean, you know, we don't have troops that can look at.
Of course, you don't have troops there. That would mean you're complicit in genocide, right?
Every single soldier and where they are. We're going based on what the Israelis are telling us and what they're saying publicly and what we're able to discern as best we can. As you and I speak here today, we have not seen a major ground operation. And these tanks are moving along a corridor that they have told us previously that they would use on the outskirts of the town to try to put pressure on Hamas.
So, lies. Okay, cool. Israel's caused civilian death ratio tremendously positive and unique in the world. With our newly published data set, we now compare child casualty ratios in Israel and Gaza. Children killed by Hamas, 2.8%. Children killed by Israel and Gaza since 2007, 31.6%. Israel exonerates itself over Gaza beach killings of 4 children last year. We investigated ourselves and we found no wrongdoing. Where's that one? A Jewish Yale University student journalist reporting on anti-Israeli protests at the Ivy League school Saturday night was stabbed in the eye with a Palestinian flag, while our assailant has gone unpunished. Let's see here. Will this show it? Of course, there's an ad. Give me a minute. Oh. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, here we go. Oh. Oh, she was stabbed. There it is. There's the video. Yeah, we're hang on. Are they going to cut? Are they going to cut? Let's see if they do.
Coverage of an anti-Israel protest at the...
You were not poked in the eye.
Coverage of an anti-Israel protest at the Yale
They didn't even
University.
see you, dude.
At the Yale Israel protest.
That's not a poke in the eye.
Of an anti-Israel protest at the Yale
Your
University.
camera, look.
Of an anti-Israel
They were
protest
waving the
at
flag.
Yale
Your
University.
camera was in the way.
Anti-Israel protest
They
at
hit your
the Yale
camera. They didn't even hit your eye.
Anti-Israel protest at the Yale University. Demonstrators,
Hang on.
as Yale University student, editor-in-chief for the Yale Free Press, was attacked during her coverage of an anti-Israel protest at the Yale University. With the butt pole. Despite reporting the incident to the campus police, Sahara attacked fire during their filming. This attack is reminiscent of a similar attack on Noah Kokowa, the Miss Israel versus Palestinian rally. Campus across the United States are becoming a site of intense protest amid the Palestinian situation rallies and anti-Semitism.
Oh my God.
University to due to extreme and around.
Is she okay? Is she okay?
Student campus. School to divest from corporations profiting from the West Asia.
Like, it's barely even grazed. Like, it's in two fingers there. Look, look. He's barely even holding it. He's, look at this. He's barely holding it. He's like, it's like in two fingers.
Profiting from the West Asia conflict. Several students were involved in the
seriously,
protest,
that's all they've got is like less than 2 seconds. Unbelievable. I'm done covering. We've covered a lot of bases. I think I've got everything in a synopsis covered. What we want here? Got the origins of Semitism. Holds no power. Black Old Rafah. Yeah, covered that. Circumvention of the Constitution. Yes. Trying to pass laws directly. Yep. Got everything covered. So, yeah. I'm not going to cover too much. Like, I could be here every single day on this shit. Every single day. I'm just letting you know, guys. Check into your local charities. You know, your pro-Palestine charities. Look into them. Make sure you know it's legit. Do your research. I can't even promote any of them because I don't know where the money's going or if it's even going there. I don't know. So, you know, check out the collectivist kind of charities that are just in general, like your what do they call it? Not Patreon, the other thing. I'm drawing a blank. What's called? But yeah, just collectively support your local Palestinian charity groups. There's not a whole lot of options that they have left. Not even food's going in. Nothing. So their last option is become political refugees. And that means that internationally the world has to recognize the Palestinian people as being political refugees and are allowed into Egypt. You know, just let them go across the Mediterranean Sea. If they can't or aren't allowed to get on boats picked up by other nations to be political refugees, if seriously, the aid, they're destroying international aid trucks, any sort of if they're destroying international ships, by all means condemn Israel. Condemn the attack and say, no, this cannot stand. If we have to go to war, I know America's going to take up Israel's side. I know that. So we're going to be going to war again with the rest of the world. We're going to go to war with the rest of the world, trying to say, hey, no, genocide be bad. And America's like, no, genocide be good. So, with that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell. Comment, promote. Share this worldwide. Let people know, hey, Israel holds no power. Should not hold no power in the United States. It's a foreign country. It should not be able to circumvent the entire Constitution of the United States. It can't do that. You cannot put a country's well-being above that of the United States Constitution. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. So, promote, share, like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell. And tomorrow we're doing a Wreckfest stream, so that's going to be a little bit lighter of a sentence, a little bit easier to take. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, try to enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.